I don't know if this is going to end up in my office or if it's going to end up in a bathroom. I haven't quite decided yet, but regardless of where it ends up, I can tell you that it's going to be visible and it's going to be 3D and it's going to look cool against whatever color I have on the wall. This is the Gooday 3D LED digital clock. It is a digital clock. It's a 3D digital clock. It comes in a box. It comes with instructions. It comes with some mounts and a remote, and it comes with the clock itself. And there's a few different options on it. I've seen some of these clocks online from various sellers, so I wanted to make sure I gave a pretty good overview of what you're expecting, because I'm assuming that a lot of these are fairly similar. Let's take a look at what all comes with the clock. The instructions themselves, pretty straightforward. This one I got from a Chinese reseller on Amazon called Gooday. That's the name of the seller. Ships and sold from Gale Dickens, but the actual brand name of it was Gooday on Amazon. So I have my Chinese directions and I have my English language directions. The directions are pretty straightforward, which is nice. It also comes with a remote, which is great because you don't have to mess around with the buttons on the back of the clock. I didn't have any problems with getting a signal anywhere near it, as you could see. The receiver is right down here at the bottom. It comes with these little mounts that you put on that you can press into the wall, that then on the back here you can just, once you get these pushed in, the little pins, it'll hook right here and you can slide this on. Just put that up on your wall, you can line them up, and then you hammer those in, and then this will hang on really well. And the other thing that everything that hangs on the wall should come with, regardless of what it is a template. You put this on the wall, you can use your level, you take these little star things and you just push them in where they are, and then you know that everything's going to be level and you haven't put 16 holes in your wall while you're trying to figure out if it's level. Or you can just be really good at measuring and stuff, which I am not, so I really appreciate these kind of features. So now to the clock itself. Now, right now I have this set on the mode where it just cycles through everything that you're seeing. So it shows the time. I'm using a 12-hour clock, not the 24-hour clock, but you have both those options. It shows you the date. Today is June 1st, and the temperature. In my office right now, it is 72 degrees Fahrenheit. I do have this set to Fahrenheit. I really like that this clock shows all these things. I wish that it gave me the option to choose how fast it flipped through these things, or, you know, or I could like flip through it with the remote or something. I like that it shows the time longer than anything else. It would kind of be nice to be able to adjust the speed, the rate at which it flips through things. I can't see that because I'm looking at this backwards. Oh my gosh, it's so bright. So with the function button, I can switch this between the ability to swap, you know, change this, or just to have it where it just shows the time. I like that it's showing the temperature, so I have that. Now, just so you get a little bit of a view of what this clock is, it's maybe an inch thick. I have white trim in my house. This will probably look pretty good against the white trim, regardless of the wall I put it on. Another really cool thing that I like about this is the cord channel on the back. It's a kind of a multi-directional cord channel. So if you had the plug up above, you would run it straight up. If you had it here, it would go that way, there, that way. That's a nice feature. One thing, the biggest thing I do not like about this clock, probably my biggest negative, is there is no battery option. You have to use the wire. Now, this wire is pretty discreet, kind of reminds me of a speaker wire. This ends in a USB plug. It's just a standard USB-A or USB 2.0, what you're typically used to type plug. So if you have any sort of power adapter that you use for pretty much anything right now, or even if you have a wall plug with the USB port in it, you can just plug it into that. Depending on where I end up putting this, haven't fully decided yet, but depending on where I end up putting this, I'll probably replace the wall receptacle that has the two outlets on it. I'll probably put in an outlet that includes a USB plug, so I don't have to have an extra thing plugged in to have this plugged in. But I do wish this was battery powered. That kind of destroys this a little bit for me. It also doesn't have a stand on it, which I find a little odd, because I was thinking, you know, it would probably come with a stand, but it does. I mean, it's wide enough that, you know, you can stand it up. You know, it's not too wobbly. We're okay on there. The remote has a power button on it. It has a few other options. probably the coolest thing I like about it is the remote has numbers. So when you're going through the settings, you know, you can flip between the 12, the 24 hour. When you're doing this, you can actually type in. So if I want to say it's 11, I can type in 11. You got to be a little quick. There we go. Or I could type in 12 and hit that. You'll see, so I could set the hours, 12 or 24. I could set the hour, the minutes, then it goes to the year. It's 2019. Then I set the month, the day, and then I can change whether or not this is Fahrenheit or Celsius. And like I said, you have a couple different functions. You have it where it can show the time and then flip between the date and the temperature as well. That's my preference. Or you can just show the time and have it on the wall. It also has a power button on the remote, so you can, if you're just getting too annoyed by it, I guess you could just shut it off. And it does retain the memory when you turn it back on. One of the things that annoys me a little bit is on the remote there is a button that says color, and this is a single color clock, so I can't switch the color. If these LEDs were color changeable, or I could have them cycle through a different color, or even have the temperature be a different color, maybe shift, either do a slow shift through LED colors, or have the temperature be one color, the date be another color, the time be another color, that would make this clock even better in my opinion. You do have an alarm, so you could set an alarm. I don't foresee using the alarm function for anything. It also has, down at the bottom, there's a couple buttons where you can set a timer. So if you wanted to set a countdown timer, you could use those to set the timer on this clock. The other thing is there's a light button here, so you're able to set the brightness on a scale up to 10, and 10 is way too bright, just way too bright. But I could see maybe if you were using this out in your garage or something, you might want to have this on a 10. But as you can see, you can adjust that. There's also, if you hit the light button again, it gives you the auto feature, which adjusts based on the light in the room. And that's probably where I'm going to keep it. Now if I turn on this light, I mean, in theory, it should get, you know, a little brighter because now there's ambient light. Turn it off and it's going to get a little darker, and this is down to the lowest brightness. That's the clock. Hopefully you enjoyed this review and this all made sense to you. There's not a whole lot to say. It's a wall clock. It shows the temperature, it shows the time, it shows the date. You can see here I have it set to just the time. Let's see if I can switch that over to show the date as well. Now it's going to flip through the date, the temperature, the time, and it's going to slowly flip through those. So I do have some wish list items for this clock that I think it might have been a little better had it included. My biggest negative obviously is that this is corded. It doesn't have a battery on it. Probably my fault for not reading the description well enough to realize that, but it would be really nice to have this be battery powered. I wish that I could change the rate by which this thing flipped through. I wish there were other color options, not only for the LED lights, but also for the body of the clock, like not being white. I understand that you have to have some area in the clock to store components and electrical things, but it would be nice if this was a little less. This is the Gooday 3D LED digital clock. It's definitely a modern, just floating design. It's corded. It shows you temperature, it shows you time, and it shows you the date. So a lot of interesting features on it, and it comes with a handy dandy remote control for all your controlling needs. So you don't have to mess around with pulling this off the wall to set any settings, which is a huge plus when it comes to wall clocks. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed this review.